Now the next thing I want to talk about are what we call integers. Now we are going to be talking about the word integers a lot. I mean, in fact, all of these numbers are important, but we're going to be using the word integer a lot. Don't let it scare you. Integer is positive, negative, or zero number with no decimal. Now, like I said, in your book, you're probably not going to see that definition. This is my definition, but your book will have something similar. So, for instance, you might have the number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ... In other words, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, on and on to infinity. And then, of course, on the negative side, we've got negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, ... So integers are really all of these numbers that don't have any decimal point. I mean, in other words, 4.5 is not an integer. 1.2 is not an integer. 0.3 is not an integer. Integers have to be these numbers that are these nice whole numbers. It can be negative, it can be positive, it can be zero. Those are called integers. And you'll see, we'll just use this term a lot in algebra. You'll see it coming up. But that is my definition of what an integer is. I think it's a good one just to show you what they really are. There's nothing more to it than that. It's just basically the numbers, positive or negative, without any decimals. A whole number Now, the next thing here, the next couple things we're going to talk about here, a whole number, you know, it's useful to know these only because they're in your book and because you're going to see them on a test, but really you're not really talking too much about whole numbers. I mean, you'll just see why in a second. A whole number are the positive integers, and you also include 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ... So when you say something is a whole number, it means the positive integers, and also you kind of include 0 in there. So it's just a definition. I mean, there's nothing special about whole numbers. It's just a label. Integers are the positive and the negative numbers without any decimals, and you also include 0. Whole numbers are the positive ones if you also include 0. And there's also another one that you will see in your book. Let me switch colors here. And those are the natural numbers. All right, the natural numbers. And those, actually, let me take this off like that. The natural numbers, just to show you by example, those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ... So basically, these are the positive integers, and you don't include 0. That's the only difference between a whole number and a natural number. The reason they're called natural is because when you're a kid and you're counting jelly beans, if you have a physical object here in front of you, like this pencil or this marker. So I have one marker. And then if I have a pile of markers, I'll start counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those were considered natural because those are the numbers that you use to count things. Typically 0, even though it's definitely an important number, you're not counting objects with the number 0, because usually if you're counting something, you have more than 0. So that's why they call them natural. I guess what I'm trying to say is these two things down here, I mean, they're useful to know for your test, but you're really not going to use them too much in algebra. You're not going to be asked too much in the future. You know, hey, go ahead and list the whole numbers here, you know, in this problem. It's just not something you're really going to see, but it's a definition. Integers you will see a lot, and so that's super important. The main thing to take away from these boards here is that the world is divided into the real numbers are the general umbrella of all numbers that you could possibly plot on a number line. And those are divided up into the irrational, which are numbers that you cannot write as a fraction, And then also the rational numbers that you can write as a fraction. And then getting even more specific, the integers are the numbers here, like you see here, with positive or negative numbers without any decimals, and 0. Whole numbers are the positive numbers including 0, and natural numbers are the positive numbers when you don't include 0.